Q&A calls are one of the laziest call formats that you can include in your program. Your clients haven't stopped showing up to your calls because they're unmotivated. They've stopped showing up to your calls because it's the same every week and it's stopped being worth their time. And that is a problem that is completely fixable. I've got 5 alternative formats that I have used in group experiences. Each one is designed to keep everyone in the room engaged, not just the person who has their hand up week after week after week. And your live time is the one thing that AI is not going to replace. So getting your facilitation skills honed is absolutely vital. It's the thing that justifies premium pricing. It's the thing that separates a real group experience from a course with a Q&A call bolted on. When you use your live time for that same repetitive structure of a Q&A call every single week, you are wasting your most valuable asset and you are wasting your clients' time. So here are 5 alternatives that I would recommend that you try using in your group program. The first is the live critique, and this works brilliantly for any program where your clients are producing work, producing outputs, copy, content, strategy documents, lesson plans, anything with a tangible output that you can share from a Google Doc onto the screen. You pull up their work and you talk through it by thinking out loud against success criteria you've already defined. What's working, what you tweak, what you might change, and why you are going to do that. And the whole group is going to watch at the same time, but you're also going to invite them to contribute their feedback. And what makes this so powerful is that everybody's learning together, not just the person whose work is being reviewed, but everybody who is there watching you apply your expert lens, your expert insight onto somebody else's situation and seeing how that transfers directly to your own, because it's being measured against a shared set of standards, a shared understanding of what good looks like. You can also share that Google Doc with the whole group and using the comments function, get your group adding observations in real time. And suddenly it's not just you being the sage on the stage giving the feedback, it's the whole group giving peer feedback together. And this means that everybody is actively engaging and thinking about how they might do something differently and then how they can apply that to their own work. Format 2 is focused implementation sprints. Now, I am always talking about facilitated implementation. I am always talking about the gap between knowing and doing, about the gap between the intention to do something and then the actual action of doing the thing. And when we do focused implementation sprints, whether that's in a workshop format for 90 minutes, whether that's kind of like a 30-day challenge type thing, the whole point here is that we are moving the group through the process of actually doing the work and taking the action during the allocated live time that you have together. And the process is really simple. You are going to teach a concept before the session, preferably in a short pre-recorded video, around 10 minutes. It doesn't need to be longer than that. The primary focus is to teach the key concept that you are going to be working on within the live session. When you do this, it means that you're not wasting the first 10-15 minutes welcoming people in and teaching them. If your clients won't watch things in advance because they don't have time, put the teaching section as part of the session, front load it into your workshop. Now, what this isn't is a co-working session. One of those co-working sessions where you turn up and you say your own goal and what you're working on. Okay, what you're going to focus on for the next 25. This is not helpful because people don't always know what they should be working on, or they opt to work for the least important thing that's actually going to make any difference. You know, they'll say, oh, I really, really need to post to LinkedIn today, when actually what they need to do is go and have 5 conversations with people. Allowing too much flexibility in terms of that kind of open co-working type call is that people are not going to get done what they needed to get done. So guided implementation is where you break down the stages, you walk them through what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. You answer the questions as they work through it. You put their output on the screen and talk through what's working in real time, and they leave with having done the thing. So they haven't just learnt about the thing, they've actually done it. And this means that your program is actually delivering results, not just producing inspirational notes in a notebook that they're never going to read. Format 3 is masterminding in small groups. Now, you've probably heard of masterminding before. It is not a novel or unique call format, but it is much more impactful than just that kind of Q&A call where you are the guru on the stage answering everything. You break your clients into groups of 3 or 4, put them into a breakout room. Each person gets an opportunity of, say, 5 to 10 minutes to share a challenge that they're working through. Everybody else is going to respond with their insights, with their own experience. And the joy of this, because you are working with adults and they're bringing their expertise, their years of experience, their hard-earned perspectives to the table, you are not the only expert in the room, and your clients will have knowledge that you don't yet have or will never have based on the kind of work that you do that will be supportive to the other person that they're masterminding with. And when you're leveraging the wisdom of your clients in support of each other, this is a real powerful dynamic. It means that they're not always looking to you to be the one who has all the answers. Instead, they trust themselves and they trust each other. And this brings in a sense of ownership for the journey of progress that they're making. Now, a Q&A call actively goes against this because everybody is looking to you to provide the answers. Masterminding means that they have to participate, they have to share their knowledge, and they see each other as peers that can actually be supportive and helpful. Format number 4 is teaching to the gap. So this is where you have your predefined curriculum, the concepts, the core concepts that you're teaching. This may be pre-recorded, but you may spot over time when you're doing your weekly check-ins that the same struggles, the same challenges keep on coming up. So, it might be that they're posting in the community or asking you the same questions week after week. This is a sign that you can dedicate as part of a session to teaching this thing. So teaching that concept live and giving them the opportunity to try it out with you there to give your feedback, not as homework for later, is going to help them to actually do the thing. It's responsive facilitation, and it's going to help your clients as a cohort to feel seen and supported by you in a much more personalized way than go watch that video that's recorded in the curriculum. I would not do this if it's not a pattern that you are spotting across your cohort. Otherwise, reference them to something that's already there. But if it is a pattern and you've noticed something that they're struggling with, you're showing up how they need you to show up, then that is really, really beneficial for your relationship, the trust that they built in you, and also the results that they're going to get. And it shows and demonstrates to your clients that you're actually paying attention to them. If you're planning your sessions live and you're delivering them kind of, it's a repeated program that you planned 6 months ago and you're delivering it regardless of what's happening in the room, you are basically saying that the client's current experience is kind of irrelevant. When I was teaching, I used to teach the same year groups over and over again. I never taught the same lesson twice because regardless of whether or not it was a good lesson, it wouldn't necessarily work for the children that were with me in that room. And it's the same with your clients. They will bring different things to the table. They will have different struggles. And when you teach to the gap, you are staying curious about what your clients actually need in the moment of your program, not just what you thought was going to be relevant 6 months, 12 months ago. Format 5, one of my favorites, is a success showcase. And this is one that you use towards the end of your program. And it is one of the most underused formats in group delivery. I don't think I've seen many people use it apart from me. Each client is going to share their wins in the session, not just the results, but the journey, the challenges that they faced, the moments they stopped, the breakthroughs that they had, and then they can take questions from their peers as well. The idea is that you are giving every client the opportunity to take the stage and share what has worked for them. And then once everyone has had a chance to share, you can then summarize and reflect as a group on the common themes, what's come up, what's shifted, and what everyone is taking forward with them beyond the scope of your space or into your continuation offer. Your job here is to summarize how well they've done, to celebrate them, and to make sure that every client feels genuinely seen for the work that they have done. And this is not just a nice way to end your program, it's strategic too, because it's a proof collection system built into your program structure. The stories that are coming out of a well-run success showcase become testimonials that sell your next cohort. It takes the energy from she was so supportive to here's what I did, here's what changed, here's what I wanted, here's what I now believe is possible. And that's the difference between that kind of praise-giving testimonial that makes you feel good versus that proof-driven testimonial that makes somebody want to sign up with you. And what all 5 of these techniques, these strategies that you can have in your toolbox have in common is that they treat your live time together as the most valuable part of the program, not just this kind of afterthought, not a box to tick to say that you're supportive, not a reason to justify the price point, but something that's actually going to be impactful. Real facilitation, reading the room, knowing when to call on that quiet person, knowing when to redirect somebody that is dominating every single conversation, creating the conditions where every client feels seen and heard, not just the kind of dominant loud ones who own the room. And this is a skill. Facilitation is a skill. It's not something that AI is going to be able to script for you. It's something that you are going to have to try out and learn from through practice. But the thing is with these strategies is that it takes an average group program that is essentially a content dump and a Q&A call into a premium group experience that is actually driving transformational outcomes. And I would love you to sit with the 5, like watch this video again and decide which one do you want to try first. And I would love to know which one you are going to try. Which one do you think is going to make an impact? And if you're watching this wondering why your clients are disengaging, maybe they are dropping off, maybe they're not showing up to your Q&A calls, book yourself in for an experience gap diagnostic. This is going to tell you exactly where your program is losing people. This is me, my eyes on your program. You fill out a 10-minute questionnaire and you get a personalized Loom video from me within 48 hours to tell you exactly where I can spot gaps in your program. The link to that is in the description and I'll see you next time.